Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel. My name is Ryan. I'm your host, and with me is Clint. And what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly break down the trade that just happened. Mikal Bridges is going to the New York Knicks. The Nets get 5 unprotected first-round picks. I mean, 5 first-round picks. I think 4 are unprotected, and then 1 is protected, like via the Milwaukee Bucks. There was also another trade that kind of was overshadowed by this trade where the Nets got some of their picks back from the Rockets, and the Rockets received a bunch of Suns picks. Clint, how's it going?
Well, the bomb just dropped. I thought we were going to record earlier, but I pushed it off, and now we got 2 trades, and we haven't even got to draft day yet.
I know. And that's tomorrow night, and it's 2 nights. So yeah. So let's just talk about the Mikal Bridges trade real quick. What were your initial thoughts when you seen it go through, as far as for maybe the Knicks side of it? Let's start with the Knicks side of it.
Well, we had heard rumors the Knicks were in for Bridges, but the whole New York feud, Nets Knicks. So I'm actually kind of surprised the Knicks got it done. But when you see what the Knicks gave up, now you know what they probably got it done. They probably had to throw in a couple of those extra picks. But if you're the Knicks, you just watched how the Celtics won a title, and you want to go versatile. Well, now they can have a versatile lineup. You throw Bridges in there. Let's just assume you keep OG Anunoby with Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson. That's a really good team.
Yeah, they're very switchable. Their defense is going to be stupid. If you thought it was ridiculous last year, I think it's only going to get better this coming year, because the rotation is going to allow their wings, especially if they keep OG Anunoby. It's just going to be a crazy defensive unit for the Knicks. I totally get why. I think, some people might think they overpaid a little bit, but they kind of had to, right? Because the Nets were always going to make the Knicks overpay a little bit because of them being in New York. 5 total first round picks for a guy who's probably, what would you say, like he's almost an all-star level player, but when you're putting him on this team, he's going to be more of a role player. He's not going to be able to do as much as he did in Brooklyn. He's going to be kind of regress to the Phoenix Suns role to a certain degree. I mean, he's not going to be, diminished his role that much, but it will be diminished to a certain extent. But yeah, I kind of like it for the Knicks, and as long as Tom Thibodeau don't run this team into the ground, they have a lot of ways to attack people. They could be the threat to Boston that the people are looking for in the Eastern Conference because of their versatility.
Yeah, always with Thibodeau team, health is going to be a factor, but maybe if you can keep some of the guys that are free agents, if you can have some depth, maybe you can convince him in parts not to run his guys into the ground. But regardless, I mean, they're probably in the Eastern Conference Finals if you had Bridges, and even though Anunoby goes out, you have a little more versatility. But that's going to be the key for this trade, is the versatility. Mm-hmm. Bridges and OG, again, we'll just assume they keep them. Those are 2 about as switchable players as you can get. Same with Josh Hart. Those are 3 guys that, depending on the center, it doesn't make a difference who you switch them on to. You're not going to freak out and have to run a scramble double over, so that they look really good on paper right now.
Yeah, agreed. And we'll see if they keep Harkenstein and OG, but even if they don't, their team still looks pretty good, just in general. Okay, Nets side of it. How do you feel about the Nets side of it?
The Nets, I didn't think they would do it, but they did. That's what they had to do. They're not going anywhere. Bridges is a good player. He's not a 1. So for the Nets, you're just going to waste another year or 2 with Bridges. You're paying them, unless they thought they could make a deal for a Trae Young or a DeJounte Murray, which apparently seemed less likely. This is the route to go. You had a team that was desperate. You pick up 5 first-round picks, pick swap. You give up a second, but you get a second. So um, that's a win for the Nets.
Yeah, I like it for the Nets too. I think you're right when you said this is the direction they had to go. A lot of teams want to hang on to that one player that isn't quite a one, but can help other teams win, and where teams are offering multiple first round picks. Chicago is prime example. They've done that for years. They just hold on to these guys, and it's like you guys aren't going anywhere beyond the playing game. And so the Nets, I think, did the right thing here, accumulating all their assets, and it's a double win for them to get some of their own picks back. So that way if they hold their own destiny, so to speak, as far as like now they can tank and reap the benefits of not winning games. Otherwise that was going to go to Houston. We saw where they're picking in the draft tomorrow at number 3. That's kind of big.
Yeah, and now they'll have, with that other trade giving up the Suns picks, they basically have 3 first-round picks next year.
That's crazy. It's a huge draft. Yeah. Yeah.
And a good draft. So
Yeah.
you're going to figure their pick is going to be high. Bucks and Knicks picks, I mean, even if it's towards the middle of the draft or in the early 20s, it's supposed to be a deep draft. So you take that, you get your 26 back, and then like all of these teams, once you get out to 29 and 31, this Knicks team is going to age out. All these guys are not old, but they're not early 20s. So 5 years from now, 6 years from now, you never know what those picks are going to be.
Yeah, they're all about 27. That's the way it looks. Anunoby, DiVincenzo, Brunson 27. I got their thing up here. Randall's 29, Mitchell 26. So they're, like you said, in 5 years, not all of them are going to be the same player, 4 to 5 years. So, but yeah, I like it for both teams really. I think it was both a win-win for both teams in a sense that the Knicks kind of had to overpay, but they did, and they got the guy they wanted. That makes their roster very versatile, more versatile than what it was. And then the Nets are now all in on a rebuild and tanking this coming year, which is one of the deepest drafts, as already mentioned. Really quick, give me your biggest winner of the trade.
I'm still going to go with the Knicks because I think they're going to have a follow-up trade so that they can keep OG and Hartenstein. I think they really want to. So like Mitchell Robinson, I mean, he might be able to be had for cheap. Julius Randle, maybe they'll keep him around, but he doesn't remind me of a guy that wants to come off the bench. Some guys you can convince to come off the bench. I don't know if you can convince him. So they might have some guys that they'll unload, but if you can keep those 6 guys plus the minimum contracts, I think the Knicks win, and it gives them a really legit shot to come out of the East with, obviously health plays a big important. No one knows that more than the Knicks this year. So with health, and you keep that team together, that's a scary team.
Agreed. I agree with you. I'm going to add just a winner, Villanova, like because of the original 5, DiVincenzo, Hart, Brunson, and Bridges. Villanova gets a big win as well for those 4 guys getting back together, which is kind of a fun story in the bigger story. So that's kind of cool. Biggest loser for you?
I mean, I guess the Nets, just because if you're a Nets fan, it's going to be a rough few years. It's exciting when you're like, oh, we have all these picks, but picks aren't going to win games for you in 2025. Right. And they've just been such like an up and down franchise. You just, you think you'll be good when Prokhorov bought the team and you have KG and Paul Pierce, then that falls apart and you watch it build the Celtics, really good team, and then you get KD and Kyrie and that poops the bed, and now you're back to I guess you're back to when you had Kenny Atkinson and you had a young team and tried to build it. So I don't think anyone really loses in this trade, but if you're a fan of the Nets, the next couple of years are going to be rough.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rockets. They kind of wanted Mikal Bridges. I thought I said Miles. Mikal Bridges. It definitely on their wish list. Having that 3rd pick and the other picks that the Nets have, you thought. I mean that they owned of the Nets, having all those picks. You thought that they had an inside track, along with Cam Whitmore, and Thompson. They had a lot to offer. So you got to think that the Rockets kind of feel a little bummed out because maybe they felt, and maybe rightfully so, that they could have upped the ante a little bit. But yeah, they got to feel a little bit like losers. And then I was just going to say Julius Randle. I think he's going to be the odd man out in this. I think he's going to get traded. And I just don't think there's room for him on this roster anymore. So he's going to go to a team, probably the Pistons, with a ton of cap room that will take on him, and kind of go away from the Knicks. I think that's going to happen. So possibly Julius Randle, I guess, is how I'll say that.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see the fallout from this. I think it's only been like 20 minutes since these trades went down, but there'll be a lot of digesting it and figuring out how these contracts are going to work, especially on the Knicks and even the Rockets getting the Suns picks. Like if they want to be good, now you have a 27 and 29 Suns pick, which are probably quite valuable.
Correct. Okay, man. Thanks for covering this with me real quickly. We are going to do a podcast where we're going to get into the rest of the NBA news of the past week. We're going to talk about the draft, so check that out on our podcast feed. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of the trade of Mikal Bridges going to the Knicks, who won, who lost the trade. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.